Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star original continent based on novel. So let's start. 3 Universe, Knights of the Demon Race Alliance, were flying several 100 million miles away from Luophone. Though they were not of the demon race, they followed the order from Dream Demon ancestor. "We're not far from that human Luophone," said a short man with a bloody beard. "According to the information from the Demon Race Alliance, we can find that human any time. Jin Ya and Puya, we must be careful now. Once we find that human Luophone, we need to keep following him. The reward from the alliances is huge." "We understand," the other 2 short men said. They were all from a powerful race, but they all belonged to the Demon Race Alliance. "Big brother, we're much weaker than Luophone, and we'll definitely die if we're trapped in his 9 Tiger River. Which is why we need to be careful and don't get too close to him. We need to be at least 19 million miles away from the ground. And by doing that, we can see more than a 300 million square foot area. Besides, the information is clear that there are not many Universe Knights from other races. If the Universe Knight we see is not on the information, chances are, it's the human Luophone." "I understand." The 3 alliances were extremely careful. When Master of Banff arrived, he immediately controlled the entire original star, and he knew every great being on the original star. He recorded all the Universe Knights of other races near Luophone and passed the information to all the members from the alliances. As long as it was not a Universe Knight in the information, it could be disguised by Luophone. The members needed to identify the stranger Universe Knights. And they would rather make wrong killings than let Luophone go. After all, it didn't mean anything to kill some Universe Knights. However, Luophone couldn't get away. 3 traces of light were flying in the sky. "Look!" The 3 men slowed down and saw a silver-armored and silver-winged man. Luophone wasn't camouflaging himself. Instead, he showed his true identity. "It's the human Luophone. We found Luophone. It's him." They were all excited and anxious. They hadn't expected to find Luophone so quickly. "Jin Ya, Puya, this is a great opportunity." The bloody-beard guy transmitted his voice. "Stay away from him and he can do nothing. Even if we get killed, the alliances will revive us." "Okay." The other 2 nodded. There was a promise from the alliances that if someone was killed, they would be resurrected, and the true treasures and treasures lost would be returned. And the more one contributed, the more he would be rewarded, which was why all the great beings devoted all their efforts. "Stay 30 million miles away from him. We can go in 3 directions. We can't let him get away, and we need to make great contributions and get great rewards," the bloody-beard one said. The other 2 also nodded. They separated and tried to approach Luophone. All the bodies of the Universe Knights from the bloody-beard beings race gathered in a small universe secret region. They had a virtual space where they could pass the information back to their race immediately. And then, the seniors within his race would pass the information to the seniors in Demon Race Alliance. "We've confirmed Luophone's coordinates, and there are 3 Universe Knights following him. Other Universe Knights are approaching him as well." The 3 alliances immediately passed the information onto the great beings of the races under them. All the Universe Knights, Universe Overlords, and even Universe Masters approached the new coordinates as quickly as possible. The golden waves were churning, covering 90 million square feet, but the 3 Universe Knights of the Buhan clan kept their distance. Luophone stepped on the waves and yelled, "Back off and I'll spare your lives." "Human Luophone, are you kidding me? We don't need you to spare our lives. We're 6 million miles away from 9 Tiger River. What can you do about us? You're indeed powerful, but we're millions of miles away from you. Human Luophone, this is your doom. All the great beings of our alliances are racing toward you. It won't help no matter how you're trying to disguise yourself. Stop running." All of them laughed and looked confident. Luophone frowned. If he kept being watched, his route would be exposed, and the three alliances would easily know where he was, which was not good for his plan. I have to use it, thought Luo Feng. I need to show my skill. Luo Feng stood still and stared at the three universe knights of other races in the distance. I didn't want to kill you, he said. Don't blame me. You kept following me. Luo Feng stood still, which confused those three. Why wasn't Luo Feng running? Not our concern. We're more relaxed if he doesn't run. Just when the three bearded guys transmitted their voices to speak to one another, a being shone at the edge of golden waves and disappeared, then reappeared in a flash 6,000 miles away again. Hundreds of shadows shone and approached those three universe knights, which terrified them. Teleportation. Nobody can do teleportation on the original stars. Not even universe masters. It's an inherited technique, it must be. They were all in panic. What they did not know, however, was that Luo Feng was not teleporting. Mosha Body was performing his inherited technique, domain, and with his godly power, mind, and willpower, he was able to teleport himself over 100 times in 1 second. He could travel millions of miles a second. After only 3 seconds, Mosha Body arrived at where the black-bearded man was, and his blade became a shining, golden light. The golden light was sharp and cold and fast. The black-bearded man waved his hammer and shield, trying to defend himself. Although Mosha Body was weaker than the golden horned beast body and the original earthling body, it was still a universe knight, with a life gene level 100 times. And he was performing the ultimate technique of universe masters, golden light. Mosha Body was as powerful as the golden horned beast and the original earthling body before they became universe knights. One attack, and the black-bearded man's godly body trembled and was annihilated. No. How is it possible? The other two universe knights were terrified after seeing their friend killed in one attack. The blood-bearded being started to report the information and said, he's able to perform a skill like teleportation. A skill that can only be performed by special life forms like Mosha clan, and it's really powerful. One attack can kill a senior universe knight. After 2 seconds, another universe knight was killed. After 4 seconds, the last universe knight was killed. The fight was finished. 3 universe knights had been killed in 10 seconds. Nobody could even put up a fight. Mosha Body was as powerful as Purple Rain Knight. And the original earthling body could rival a universe master. Mosha Body could fight the most powerful world tree. Even flourishing light horde leader, wearing an ordinary true treasure armor, was killed by one attack, not to mention those senior universe knights without any true treasures protecting them. Luo Feng took the treasures and put away 9 Tiger River. An alliance of 3 races, Luo Feng's eyes glinted fiercely. The 3 races alliances got the information from the 3 universe knights who had just died. There was recorded footage showing Luo Feng's black, godly body breathing fire. This led the demon race, automaton race, and bug race to conclude that Luo Feng had the clone technique. That body was a Mosha Body. He can perform the inherited technique domain. And he has the inherited technique duplicate. However, the Mosha race is good at hiding and fleeing, but they're not good at fighting. He killed a senior universe knight with one attack. Did he actually become a universe master? The seniors from the 3 races were all shocked. On original star number 02933, the top 3 powers consisting of the Demon Alliance, the Automaton Race Alliance, and the Bug Clan Alliance had joined efforts in their desire to hunt and kill Luo Feng. News of such a major movement would naturally spread to the other forces like the Northern Territory Alliance and 9 Territory Alliance, all of which had temporarily moved out of the source region of the looming storm. At that very moment, there was a total of 2,102 universe knights from the Bug Clan Alliance on this original star, and 1,906 universe knights from the Automaton Race Alliance. The Demon Alliance had the greatest number in the first place, and with a large base and the total number of universe knights present was 5,230. Altogether, the total number of universe knights exceeded 9,000. And this was only the beginning amount. At that moment, there were still other universe knights rushing to this original star, which was merely one out of the 10,081 original stars. The number was still increasing continuously, and for now, at least 1/5 of the total number of universe knights from these three alliances, scattered all over the 10,081 original stars, were present on this original star. Could there be a force as great as that of a universe master? Would there be the Mosha body? A great being from the automaton race, flying in mid-air, shook his head and sneered. So, for all those present in the danger zone who are not members of any of the three alliances, all shall be killed. What a joke that just one human, Luo Feng, could create such a great commotion. But the response makes sense, since only a handful of those left in the danger zone are not members of any of the three alliances. The danger zone referred to an area with a radius of 3 billion miles, with Luo Feng as its center. The number of universe knights from the three alliances within this danger zone was gradually increasing. Every great being had the ability to see things at a distance as far as hundreds of millions of kilometers away. This greatly increased the chances of Luo Feng being discovered, which could happen at any moment. Diving Sail Knight, a great being from the automaton race, was leisurely cruising in mid-air as he commented, "The three alliances, from the start of the hunt until now, have seen the annihilation of countless universe knights. Fortunately, the higher-ups of the three alliances have committed to a promise that they would reverse time and space to resurrect those who have died and to return the treasures registered under those who have died and underwent resurrection. Otherwise, out of the numerous universe knights, who would be willing to risk the danger of losing their lives? Without the numerous universe knights willing to take the risk, this hunting plan would never be carried out." Diving Sail Knight was a universe overlord and had been roaming about the original star as a lone wanderer. Leisurely he flew, but his eyes were constantly scanning his surroundings, observing every trace of life from the flowers and the grass to the lake waters. Given the speed of calculation of his consciousness, he could easily discover any suspicious spots. Within the entire original star, every living being, from flowers to grass to earth and land, existed as though they were one. Even if one were damaged, it would be able to recover rapidly. If a Mosha body transformed into a stone and tried to hide in that guise, by meticulous sensing, one would easily be able to tell that this stone looked out of place with everything else on the original star. After flying around for some time, Diving Sail Knight's eyes lit up as he saw a silver light that was far away, almost 60 million miles away. Amidst that silver light was a black-haired man with silver armor and silver wings. The human, Luo Feng. Diving Sail Knight closed the distance between them right away, but was prepared to maintain a fair amount of distance between them. After all, the two were far from each other right now. The moment Luo Feng charged into the forest, with all the weeds in the deserted plains, he would be more difficult to spot. "I have found Luo Feng, his latest coordinates are," Diving Sail Knight immediately reported to his race. Suddenly, at the main command ground of the three alliances, upon receiving the latest coordinates of Luo Feng's whereabouts, a new spot was added on to the diagram, showing the route of Luo Feng's movement. The higher-ups sent out orders immediately to get over 9,000 universe knights to move toward the coordinates of Luo Feng's latest whereabouts. Around half an hour later, a sharp and cold golden light sliced through the air. Although Diving Sail Knight was doing his best to ward off the attacks, he was still like a tiny ant facing a speeding truck. The cold blade brought about a bone-piercing chill that sliced right through his armor. The terrifying impact immediately reached the maximum limit of this senior true treasure. A godly body that was almost 30 feet tall felt a great jolt, then faced complete annihilation. "I have a senior true treasure armor, but I was still unable to ward off one strike from his Mosha body. Is he really a universe master? Luckily, I have stored my most important true treasure back in God country." Such thoughts flashed through Diving Sail Knight's mind as he felt his entire godly body disintegrating. Then his consciousness fell into a limitless darkness. Mosha body kept the true treasure suspended in mid-air and said softly, "Diving Sail Knight did not bring his most acclaimed true treasure, Diving Sail Wings, with him. From killing Diving Sail Knight, he only managed to obtain a piece of senior true treasure armor, an ordinary true treasure weapon, and a world ring. The legendary Diving Sail Wings was nowhere to be found. Even so, I have still earned quite a fair bit, said Mosha Body. Killing one universe overlord, I can earn much more than killing 10 senior universe knights. Luo Feng stood on the water surface of Nine Tiger River while he waited for Mosha Body to return. Then, with a single thought in mind, he summoned Mosha Body back into his world ring. At the same time, he put away the ghost blade that Mosha Body had taken earlier to carry out his mission. Ghost blade was a top-tier true treasure. It was mighty and extremely powerful. Luo Feng had to contribute many of his treasures, and a handful of treasures from the Blood Cloud treasure vault to his race to be able to exchange for this ghost blade. Previously, Luo Feng had needed to deal 2 strikes before he could slice through Parachopper Knight's senior true treasure armor to kill him. Diving Sail Knight also wore senior true treasure armor, and his godly body was almost 30 feet tall, which was even more massive. If Mosha Body had used Bohi's sword, then whether it was 10 strikes or 100 strikes, the number would not matter. Mosha Body could rely on the ghost blade to bring out a sudden upsurge of power, causing his opponent's senior true treasure armor's defense level to fall by a great deal. That was when he could achieve a clean kill with a single strike. And this was only a top-tier true treasure. Luo Feng thought to himself. If this was a pinnacle true treasure, or a supreme true treasure, what power would that be? Top-tier true treasures were usually used by universe masters. Even if a universe knight might own one, usually, top-tier universe overlords only owned about 1 to 2 such treasures. The 16th universe knight and the 1st universe overlord, Luo Feng said to himself, as he stored Nine Tiger River, and started another round of rapid escape. During the escape, he interchanged between his original Earthling body and Mosha Body. When he was in the form of Mosha Body, he would use his talent technique domain to rapidly change position, trying his best to increase the difficulty for the 3 alliances trying to surround him. Every universe knight from these 3 alliances that he met along his way, he had killed without a trace of mercy, then claimed the loots of his victory. There were a dozen higher-ups in the main command ground of the 3 alliances, and they were all in rage. The number of universe knights from the 3 alliances that have been killed by Luo Feng has reached 115, of which there are 3 universe overlords. That annoying fellow. Let him gloat all he wants, let him go crazy. Now that the danger zone is shrinking, the chances of finding him are greatly increased. Besides, Master of Banff is rushing here as quickly as he can. It won't be long before Master of Banff arrives. The area where he can escape is getting smaller. Let him enjoy his last crazy moments. Luo Feng was too ruthless, and his success rate in killing was much too high. The responsibility of resurrecting these universe knights ultimately fell back on them, the universe masters within the alliances. On the original star, the number of universe knights coming from the 3 alliances had exceeded 10,000, and there were many who had entered the danger zone, causing a sharp increase in the number of universe knights from the 3 alliances within the danger zone. It was getting more troublesome for Luo Feng to hide his tracks, and his disguises had become pointless. Transforming into a stone, he would be out of place on this original star, and would be detected and discovered in no time. Transforming into a knight of some other race, he would be courting his own doom in a place where killing without mercy was the rule rather than the except. Transforming into dead members of the 3 alliances. Everyone knew that senior universe knights moved about in groups, so the only disguise he could take was one of a universe overlord. But how many universe overlords had he killed in total? Besides, the 3 alliances would know right away how many universe overlords had died at Luo Feng's hands, so it would not be difficult to recognize him that way. As for transforming into the universe overlords of the 3 alliances who were alive, Luo Feng had never set eyes on any of them before, so there was no way he could replicate their form or aura. Furthermore, the coordinates of every universe overlord were in the records of the main command grounds, which had been keeping close tabs. Luo Feng would be most easily seen through. In conclusion, there was nowhere he could escape to. Just as he had changed his direction, he met 3 universe knights of the 3 alliances. Upon killing them, he found himself facing another universe knight soon enough. The chances of discovering my tracks are getting higher, said Luo Feng. These universe knights maintain a far distance from one another, and it would put a toll on my Mosha body if I were to go after them. Previously, when I fought with 4 universe knights, I only managed to kill 3. 1 escaped. Luo Feng's eyes flashed traces of red. However, since all of you are so crazy as to leave me no other options, then bring it on. Let's go for a kill. The more he killed, the more murderous and bloodthirsty Luo Feng became. 160. 180. 200. 240. 280. 320. Luo Feng had gone crazy in his killing spree. As the chances of running into the universe knights from the 3 alliances multiplied, the speed at which Luo Feng killed them likewise increased. With every kill he made, Luo Feng made sure to take away all spoils of his victory. The higher-ups of the 3 alliances were growing increasingly furious. Human Luo Feng. After killing you, all that you have taken shall be ours again. Bamf. How long more to reach Luo Feng? He has been changing his whereabouts, but not too long. Just let him struggle a little more for now. Master of Bamf was rushing in Luo Feng's direction at the fastest he could. He was now the universe master closet to Luo Feng. In the whole of this original star, there were 4 universe masters from these 3 alliances that had arrived. However, Long Yang Master's interference hindered them from expanding the area of time and space under their control. In the vast sky of the original star, a gigantic whirlpool tunnel hovered in midair. With an overwhelmingly towering height of over 500,000 miles, a gigantic figure stepped out of the tunnel and appeared in midair. It had a huge mountain of a body with 8 hooves that resembled heavenly pillars and 4 long, thick arms. Right in the middle of its mountainous body was a humongous eyeball. He was an incomparably powerful presence whom the Demon Alliance had courted with an extremely generous offer of countless benefits, Tongling Master. Tongling Master was a special life form that had been born at the birth of the universe. Special life forms may have been powerful, but once a special life form had cultivated itself to reach the level of a universe master, that was the true show of power. Of course, many top powers would be vying to invite him to join their race. When he was still at the level of a universe knight, he had finally made a decision and joined the Demon Alliance. Tongling Master's booming laughter brought tremors to the limitless and vast ocean waters. The unending black waters spread out in an instant to enshroud the ocean, forests, deserts, swamps, and deserted plains. It was almost as though within a split moment, it had completely enshrouded the entire original star. The entire original star was then enveloped by a vast black ocean, containing a fearsome restraining force that was simply unbelievable. All the great beings, including Luo Feng, were completely engulfed by the black waters. He had a towering body, with a huge dragon tail extending from the base of his spine. He looked up at the black ocean, and under his burning godly power, the entire black ocean was suppressed. It couldn't get close to him. Floating mountain ocean. Long Yang Master whispered. Tongling Master is here, too. His eyes glinted with concern. They sent Tongling Master. He is quite a handful. All the universe masters sent by the 3 alliances are extraordinary, and it seems that they really want Luo Feng's life. Our alliance can't do anything. Long Yang Master exclaimed. Even if the Hong Alliance put all our efforts and sent Huge Axe Creator to come here, the 3 alliances can also send a Universe Supreme Master to constrain Huge Axe Creator, and it might be bloodier later. The Hong Alliance wasn't afraid of any one-to-one combat. However, it could only disturb the cooperation of 3 alliances. Luo Feng's power has surged too fast. His progress intimidates the 3 alliances, and the 3 alliances, who've been fighting each other, have set aside their feud and formed a single alliance. Long Yang Master shook his head and looked at the dangerous area. Luo Feng, you're on your own now. The best we can do is to stall them. Nobody knew how Luo Feng's current situation. The 3 Race Alliance didn't know it, and neither did Hong Alliance. Ha ha ha. Everyone who has tried to stop me has died. Die. Nobody can survive. Luo Feng looked peaceful, but his eyes were glinting ferociously. Actually, the spiritual force crystal in his head had been giving Luo Feng a headache while he was on the earth. And that crystal made him innately mad, during which he looked forward to life-or-death combat. When he was cornered by Li Wei, he slaughtered all those who cornered him. Such madness was only mild until he did soul transfer on Golden Horned Beast. The Golden Horned Beast was naturally bloodthirsty, and that bloodthirstiness affected Luo Feng, which made Luo Feng more and more fearsome. Fortunately, Luo Feng had an extremely strong mind and willpower, with which he was able to control it well. It had been a long time since he'd slaughtered like this after becoming undying. Even after he had fully comprehended Beast God Heart, he hadn't slaughtered like this. This was the first time, after he had fully comprehended Beast God Heart, that he killed out of madness. The more he killed, the faster he killed. 100. 200. 400. 800. Luo Feng was completely absorbed in the Beast God Heart. And he killed every life form in his sight. The killing bordered on insanity. One supreme being after another died, and no one could resist him. Besides, those universe knights find it difficult to get away from Mosha body's inherited technique domain. Boundless black ocean submerged the plain and sky, and the constraining power was so large that Luo Feng's mind was clear from killing. Clear. Luo Feng looked around the boundless ocean. It looked like water, but it was an area made by special energies of high density like that of Nine Tiger River. Strong power, thought Luo Feng. Wielded in combat, it might be 100 times stronger than an attack using all the power of my Mosha body, and it might rival the 1,000 treasures river of my teacher. It must be Tongling Master's floating mountain ocean. Luo Feng had gathered enough information. He had the access authority of a top-tier universe overlord in the virtual universe, allowing him to read some information of the universe masters of the bug race, the demon race, and the automation race. The more he read about them, the more he realized how terrific universe masters were. However, Luo Feng was still confident that he could achieve his goal in this fight. Human, Luo Feng. A vigorous voice went into Luo Feng's ears. Tongling Master from the Demon Race Alliance. Luo Feng smiled. You're still smiling, said the vigorous voice. Ha ha ha. How bold you are. Just so you know, Master of Banoff will be here soon. Luo Feng smiled even broader, turned around, and kept flying in one direction. He broke the black ocean water, moving quicker and quicker. You still dare to fly in my floating mountain ocean? The vigorous voice became angry, and the power within that ocean surged. The drops of water began hitting Luo Feng like neutrons, but Luo Feng kept flying without being affected. Said the voice. I thought my floating mountain ocean might kill you if I fully utilized it, but now, it seems you indeed have some abilities to be proud of. The power from the black ocean kept surging. It could have easily killed a top-tier universe overlord. However, Luo Feng easily broke through the water and flew into the distance, which startled Tongling Master at the other side of the original star. Did that Luo Feng really become a universe master? He wondered aloud. I have a pinnacle true treasure force armor on me, thought Luo Feng. And it can weaken attacks to 1/100,000th. My godly body is more than 55,000 miles tall. Even the pinnacle universe masters might need to use all their power if they want to kill me. Only a domain-type true treasure. It can't hope to affect me. Luo Feng knew his power clearly. True treasure armor, from ordinary true treasures, senior true treasures, top-tier true treasures to pinnacle true treasures, most of them could weaken attacks to 1/10,000th, yet they had different limits. Only the most exceptional pinnacle true treasures were able to weaken attacks to 1/100,000th. Force armor was able to weaken attacks to 1/100,000th, which meant force armor was an exceptional pinnacle true treasure. Besides, force armor had an incredibly high limit. Attacks from universe masters were unlikely to reach the limit, which meant force armor was able to weaken the attacks from universe masters to 1/100,000th. Flame Emperor had the force armor to protect his godly body, and the original soul to protect his soul. He didn't need to be afraid of anything. And of course, Sitting Mountain Guest had a supreme true treasure. Luo Feng was able to easily resist the attack from my floating mountain ocean, even when I fully utilized it, reported Tongling Master. All the Universe Masters were startled when Tongling Master passed the news back the three alliances. There were two possibilities. 1. Luo Feng had become a Universe Master, and he had a supreme godly body. 2. Luo Feng had an incredible true treasure to protect his godly body. Did Luo Feng become a Universe Master? Humph. Perhaps he got an incredible true treasure by luck. It's not that easy to get a true treasure. Real true treasures all have strong backgrounds, and you can't just get one by luck, unless the seniors give it to you. Several Universe Masters are using top-tier true treasure armors. How could Luo Feng also be given one? Master of Banoff will fight him, and we'll know the truth soon. The bug race, the automaton race, and the demon race all found that Luo Feng had a great many mysteries, and some great beings started to wonder whether he had become a Universe Master. Luo Feng broke the black water and flew freely. Mosha body was in one of his world rings. It felt so good to kill them all. Luo Feng had killed more than 800 Universe Knights, which gave him a satisfaction he had never felt before. Besides, he also had the craving to create techniques. The desire to kill in his heart. He wanted to combine that with his blade technique. He was indeed incredible when performing Golden Light, but he didn't feel the madness. Mosha body looked up and saw the godly power being triggered. Complex engraving pictures kept showing up. Luo Feng could sense that urge. No, he thought. It doesn't feel like that. No. Luo Feng knew that he was able to create Universe Overlord level techniques using only his rations. However, it would require inspiration and emotion for him to create techniques of Universe Masters, just as when he had created Golden Light, when he had just fully comprehended Beast God Heart. No. Yes. That's it. Luo Feng looked to the gigantic engraving picture in the sky, and under the control of his mind, the engraving picture became increasingly complex. He gained more and more inspiration, and the desire to kill was completely injected into the engraving picture. In the end, the engraving picture was completed. A gigantic, complete engraving picture floated in the sky, emanating endless force and faint aggression. Done. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. He pointed to the sky, and another giant engraving picture showed up, which was the engraving picture of Golden Light. The two engravings were floating side by side in the sky. Both permeated boundless power. The one on the left looked bloodthirsty, and the one on the right looked indifferent. Finally, I've created the second ultimate technique of Universe Masters, Luo Feng said. He smiled. It had been a long time, and he'd already started the 6th level of the Beast God path. Under the strain and excessive killings, he'd created the second technique. I'll name it Blood Light. Suddenly, a towering being raced toward Luo Feng from among the black ocean. A voice resounded in the sky. Luo Feng. Luo Feng turned back, and knew immediately. Master of Banoff was here. This video will end here.